Coming up on episode 10 of the Countdown to podcast, George and Jamal join me and Key to discuss Liverpool v Man City, my woe for Tottenham Hotspur, and also to give their Premier League team of the season. But before we get into that, I would like to point you in the direction of nixviamedia.com for a Super Bowl 55 article which went live this week. But now, onto the pod. Welcome, boys. Jamal, Key, George, same as always. So we're recording this directly after the Liverpool City game. So Liverpool just got slapped 4-1. So I just want to start with Jamal, bro. Thoughts on the game? What happened? You got touched, got peppered, bro.
It was a mess from start to finish. An absolute mess. Every player, not one player. The first time probably this season I can say not one player can walk off that pitch with a shred of dignity. Even Alisson, who usually is Mr. Reliable, even he was at it today. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I haven't seen this on the clock before. I've seen dodgy spells. I spoke about it before. I've seen dodgy spells around this time on the clock. Last season was the anomaly. We usually do have a bit of a dip this time of the season. But this, I've never seen this before. Like, we can't do anything, can't attack, we can't defend, we can't press, can't create, can't do it. There's nothing going right at all. Everything that can go wrong and everyone that can play bad is all happening at the same time. There's bare different reasons, but it's all come up at the worst time together.
Yeah. For me, you played the wrong opponent today for what you just said, for everything wrong to come together, because they're on form. They've been the hottest team in the league since Christmas, and they've been bringing it on. So if Alisson's passing it to them, they're not gonna turn around and waste it. They're gonna punish it every single time, and that's what we saw today. I mean, before the game, I thought City would win, but I didn't think it would be like how it was. I didn't think it would turn out as it did. What do you guys think,
man? First half was a pretty dead game. Like, nothing was really going on. Then obviously second half, City just came out a lot quicker. You can tell Pep got into them at half time. And then City, it's like they realised that Liverpool didn't have any centre-backs and they just attacked. They upped the tempo. Everything was a lot crisper. The passing was crisper. They just punished Liverpool's mistakes.
What are you saying, Key?
Changes at half time. I think Bolden started off as a false nine, didn't he? And then second half we saw him more on the right, where he's more comfortable. And I don't think Liverpool could deal with that, to be fair. He made Robertson arguably one of the best left backs in the league look average. He's dancing through him. But I just think for Liverpool, it was an inevitable defeat, isn't it? Like, it was coming second half. Like, if City didn't walk away with 3 points, they would have been performing like that in the second half.
Yeah. Bro, Key, to keep it 100, bro, I can't even hear you, man. TV is talking too quiet, or the mic's too far away.
Let me get my AirPods. 2 seconds.
Okay, cool, bro. Whilst he's gone anyway, I want to talk about Trent. The whole game, he was the worst for me. He was the worst out of everybody that played. I mean, Firmino was anonymous. Thiago was poor by his standards, but it was Trent who was bad. I mean, he created odd chance, but defensively, he was worse than usual today. He'd just go in, he'd be rash, holding the line, he'd be all out of position. One-on-one, Sterling just had a field day with him, bro. After you score that pen, Sterling gets the ball down the left, yeah. He jinks inside. You got fucking Jamie Carragher having an orgasm because he skinned him like 3-4 times and he just goes past him, mostly crap and product. But his performance was alarming today, man. He was not good at all.
He hasn't been at it all season, but today I think it's harsh to single out one player. Yeah. Everyone's as bad as each other today. fair enough if you want to criticise him for his defending or whatever. Everyone, it's not a surprise now. It's his 4th season in the first team. Everyone knows he's not the best defensive right back in the world. We all know that. Me as a fan, I can watch it. I can go into a game thinking, is he probably going to get done once or twice a day? Probably, yeah. Will I take it? Probably, yeah. Because I know what he can offer on the other end of the pitch. The reason why he's standing out so bad for me on days like today is because last season when things were happening for him defensively, you knew at some point he's going to put a ball in the box, it's going to fall on someone's head, he's going to get a free kick outside the box, he's going to put it in the top corner. Things that were happening for him last season and the season before haven't been happening this season for whatever reason. I don't know if you can use the fact that it's not a regular season as an excuse. It's every player goes through it. The majority of top players, especially in their younger ages, will go through a sticky period, and this is his sticky period.
But yeah, anyway, moving on. I want to move on to Tottenham and to Mournho in general. I don't even want to start with this yet. I'm just going to let the United fans start with Mournho, and I'll just chip in later. What do you think about his time at Spurs, boys?
Yeah, he's doing well. Cup final there. League position not so great, but there's still time in to push 3-4 places up. The football's shocking, I'll be honest. The football's like it will send you to sleep if you're not careful. But you can bank on maybe winning the Europa League, and then you got the League Cup final. I know you got City, and you're probably not as optimistic to winning, but it's not as bad as Spurs fans make out. But obviously, you've come from Mauricio Pochettino, where you was enjoying football. You didn't win anything. Not to be disrespectful or anything, but you didn't win anything. But now you've just gone to this shit football, and it's not as bad as you're making out. As long as you're winning games, which you've done today, you're in a final. You still got a chance to win that. We don't know yet, but I don't think it's as bad.
What are you saying, George, bro?
I actually feel sorry for you a bit, Nick. I'm not going to lie, because I've obviously endured the Mournho tenure at United. And my mindset before he was appointed was he's going to bring us trophies. It's a good thing that he's always wanted to manage United, because when Fergie was manager, he always used to drop hints that he wanted to manage United one day and that he loved the club, blah, blah. But when he was finally appointed, his first, say, 6 months or so, it wasn't too bad. We actually played some okay football. He had a decent squad to be able to play good football. He had Pogba, Zlatan. He had 2 exciting young players in Martial and Rashford. And then by the end of that season, going into the second season, Rashford and Martial were out of favour. Zlatan had obviously gone, and he brought in Lukaku, and I was never really a fan of Lukaku. And then, the poor defensive football started, and I just completely fell out of love with watching United. It wasn't an enjoyable experience.
Well, George, I'm more on your.
Just on what George said, he'd done his job though, innit? Mournho at United, he won a trophy. Second season, he lasted halfway through. But he'd done what he set out to do, innit? He won trophies. He got rid of a few players, brought in a few players, and then the rest was left to Ollie to clean up what's left to do. You know what I mean? He'd done an okay job at United, I'd say, in my opinion. But
it's funny because
it's one of them.
How 2 fans, from the same club, you see his tenure so differently, and I think that's what's going on currently at Spurs, because there's current fans were key who are saying, we're in a cup final, top 4 still in reach. Cool, let's step on, let's keep going. Well, I'm all with George. I'm all along with George. Call me football purist, call me naive or whatever, but at the end of the day, football is about entertainment. If you don't want to watch a game, if you don't want to watch your team, play football, then what's the point? If I just cared about the result, I just check flash score at the end of the game. I won't watch the game. I'm there to watch the game, bro. This guy, at the start, when they first come in, I was optimistic, saying, "Oh yeah, we need a winner. We need somebody to get get us over this. We just wanted to get us over this edge because we can't win a trophy. But also, I didn't want Poch to go, but I try to look at the brighter things. I mean, last season was a write-off. I'll excuse him from last season. It's hard taking him halfway through. But this season, we started off playing different football. It was more attacking, it was more forward-thinking. And then, in my opinion, the West Ham result, the way we capitulated after that, we have to go 3-0 up, that scared him. And ever since that game, he's been very negative, defensive, proper, like, hard-to-watch football, bro. And then what annoys me the most about Mournho is he never takes responsibility for these dumb results. He makes stupid substitutions, which completely kills the momentum. He's done it for like 6-7 games, yeah. And then he'll say, the players, individual mistakes. But if you look at the stats, Son, all of our goals come from Son and Kane. Son is converting, chances at 38%, which is the most in the Premier League by far. The next near him was like 29%. I think it was Vardy. But that's unsustainable. Like, his tactics are just unsustainable. They're just outdated, embarrassing. And the worst thing of all, this guy's got players, you know. He's got ballers in his team. He's got fucking Ndombele, Højbjerg, Lo Celso when he's fit. These are proper players. So why is he trying to play defensive, when that's our worst area personnel-wise? It makes no sense. What are you going to say?
You've done the same thing at United. You've done the same thing at United, innit? We had good players there. Like, I know we had an age to Zlatan, like he was coming to an end, sort of. But we did have a kind of old squad, but he still had good players there. Pogba, Lukaku, Rashford, Martial, and he still managed to get like some dire football out of them. But the thing is with me, it's just dire, bro. Fucking, he's not adapting to modern day football, innit? Like, he's still stuck in the Porto days and whatnot. You know what I mean? When his style of football was like the change. Him and Pep Guardiola brought a change to football, didn't they? And he hasn't adapted to modern day football. So I think that's why he's so negative and whatnot. But then again, looking at it from a Spurs perspective, does he trust all of these players that he's got there? He probably trusts about 4 of them in your starting 11 if you look at it like that.
Well, okay, I hear that, bro. The players that he don't trust are probably the same players that I don't trust. And most of them are in defence. So why are you basing your game plan around them to keep a clean sheet? It makes no difference.
I was about to say the same thing. That at United, it was obvious from when he joined that we couldn't defend. When he took over, our centre-halves were like Smalling, Rojo, Phil Jones, and then he brought in Eric Bailly and Lindelof. So they were our 5 centre-halves. And he instilled a negative tactic with those centre-halves. And bearing in mind, why would you do, like, we have a good attacking system, like good attacking players, but why would you want to trust a defensive team? And even when we play defensive, we'd still concede. So what's the point? Why not just go out and attack?
No, that's how I feel like, man. You're playing, and then after the game, he'll be like, there's individual mistakes. Why are you surprised at individual mistakes? You know these players are not good. So why are you relying on them to taking all that pressure and then to counter? He's going back, he's thinking he's got Carvalho and John Terry in their prime. This is Eric Dyer, bro. This is Eric Dyer, Serge Aurier and Ben Davies. They can't sustain that type of pressure against them. They're not good like that.
He's heavily reliant on individual brilliance. So that's all he is.
I agree. And with a squad of players, bro, we haven't got a superior player to everyone else by that much. Anyway.
If Mournho was serious about the Tottenham job, he wouldn't have hired the assistant coach, the young guy. That's in my opinion. He's got no credentials. He's coming from where? Is it Benfica or something like that? Benfica.
He's Lille.
Lille. He's coming from Lille, and even at Lille, I don't think he had an important role, but he's still hired as the assistant manager at Spurs. Now you look at that and you're thinking, okay, this is a guy who he's not coached any stars or anything like that. He's come from Lille, good team in France, but that's the France league. I think we have a good pre-season under our belt. We all could play in France in some league, you know. But we've got to look at it like that. In my opinion, it's just outdated. And is he taking the Spurs job serious? His tactics have gone out the window, and I think with the Spurs job now, he's just thinking individual brilliance will get me through. Kane and Son, just give the ball to them.
Yeah, I want to hear what Joel says about this, because I don't know.
Personally, it's weird because I understand your point to an extent of football's about entertainment. You need to show some signs of attacking. But there's two things I kind of want to touch on. Do you think Spurs have the attackers to play attacking football?
Yes.
Other than Kane, Son, and Ndombele to an extent, is there any other attacker that is worth being there? Lamella's trash. Bergwijn has been off the boil since like his first month. Bro, been awful this season, Bergwijn. Lucas, wait, let me land. Who did I say? First? Bergwijn, Lamela, Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura. Gareth Bale might as well not be here.
Why don't?
That's four attackers.
But that's what, bro. How can you say Gareth Bale?
Four attackers. You want to play attacking football, but either way, it's still going to be over reliant on your two stars anyway. It's going to be Kane and Son. The backup cast is not good enough. No, it's hard to play attacking football if your players aren't good enough.
Talk about the backup cast. Yeah, they got Lo Celso there. He's better than Ndombele.
He's
way
injured.
Better than. I know, but when he is fit, he doesn't play. He gets less than 10 minutes. Yeah. He'll get 8 minutes here and there. For me, he's better than Ndombele. They've got good players there. Like, as you said, Bergwijn, he's been hot and cold. But if you unlock Bergwijn, then you've got a real player on your hands there. And obviously, Spurs on the right wing, they're a bit light. Like Lucas Moura, he hasn't been the same since Poch has left. Bale, as you said, he may be there.
Listen, yeah, what annoys me, yeah, about especially what Jamal just said, have we got the attacking players that to play attacking football, bro?
I don't think you do.
Pochettino was playing attacking football, and
and where did that get Poch?
Ericsson was playing the right wing. What?
Where did that get Poch?
Higher than Mournho.
Yeah,
listen, this thing with Spurs, yeah, I understood it with United because you've had Sir Alex, you've had great football teams in the past. You've played a certain type of football. I get it. Real Madrid, I got it. I understood it. They're an institution. Spurs there's no, it's not arrogance. I don't know what it is, but there's this underlying thing that Spurs deserve better than this. Spurs ain't a big club. Spurs are a nothing club, you know. You're still in free cup competition. Wait, let me land, man. You're still in free cup competitions. You haven't won a trophy in a long, long time. You're still in the free cup competitions, and you're not that far off the top four in the league where anything can happen. I just think there's a big overreaction from not you in particular, but just across the board. Twitter, it's this mad overreaction that he's doing something that's crazy. They still have a good chance of winning a competition this
Amazon
season.
Documentary, bro.
No, but bro,
Amazon documentary,
bro.
It's weird to me, man. I don't get it. There's no expectation on Spurs to play a certain brand of football. They played four or 5 good years under Poch. There's no reason for them to be playing this sick football. You take what you get.
No, listen. Spurs have always played good football. We haven't always won. I agree with that.
Nah, not under like some Martin Yall and that. He was desperate, man. He had a good couple of years under Harry Redknapp and a good couple of years under Poch. Other than that, the football's been meaty for a long time. I don't understand this whole thing of we should be playing a certain brand of football. It makes sense.
Listen. Let's say I agree with. I concede your argument that we don't deserve better. I mean that we whenever used to play great football or whatever. But why shouldn't we want better? Like you just said, you made a point that I don't think any of us agree with you about not having the correct personnel. We've got good players going forward. Why not utilize them? The reason why Mourinho's not getting results is because he's relying on these dead defensive players to grind him out a result. Okay, cool. I don't want him to play like City from 2-3 years ago. We can't do that. But the only way you can get results at a consistent level in the league is by utilising the best players. And it seems like our best players are in midfield or mostly in attack, which they are. So why is he relying on these defensive players? That's what I'm asking you.
I hear that point, but for me, I look through that Spurs team, and there's just unbelievable amounts of dead wood. It's unbelievable. Like I say it again, the backup cast to Kane and Son is atrocious. We've got it bad. I think you've got it equally as bad. It's awful. So you want this attacking football. You've got your 2 star players who, in a defensive system or an attacking system, are still giving output, so they're fine. And Ndombele, for whatever reason, he's kicked on this season, but I still don't think he's got Mourinho's trust in the sense of he doesn't finish games, etc. So I struggle to see what more he can be doing in the sense of you want to play this gung-ho attack, more attacking football. Right, you want to play this more attacking football, but by doing that, you're going to leave the defense that's awful in even more of a shambles. You want even more.
What's the difference to concede anyway? Conceded anyway. What's the difference?
Boy, I'm saying I don't think you've got the attacking ability to go total. Maybe in the smaller games, I can see your point where the Fulham game and other games you drop points. What did you say earlier?
That's what my point is.
Them games. Okay, I understand them games. I get that.
Against Liverpool's, Chelsea's, and if he sits back counters, I am totally fine with that because I say the same thing, didn't I? Poch used to go into these games and he was a bit naive. He'll try to take them on. You can't do that. I mean, in the big games this season, we've done well. The only bad performances that we had were Liverpool at home was even a bit. I don't know. You guys just turned up, but was Chelsea the other day? That was it. Against it, we played well. United, we played well. Liverpool at Anfield, we played okay to get a draw. So we lost at last minute.
No. Okay. Second half, yeah, not the first half.
Regardless, though, in the big games, I don't mind. For me, it's the Brightons, it's the Fulhams, it's the Sheffield Uniteds. It's these games that you should be taking over and going forward. But Crystal Palace away, why is he inviting pressure against Palace? Why is he doing the same against Fulham at home? That makes no sense, man. Like, just get rid of him. Honestly, if you want to put this in...
See, that's what I don't get. That's what I don't understand. All this time, you've been waiting for a trophy for all this time. This is the best opportunity you're going to get. You're in January and you're still in 3 cup competitions and you want him out.
Yeah. But you're telling me...
Three competitions that you actually have a chance of winning, by the way. Not just some random... Not the Champions League. The standard in Europa League is poor. The FA Cup is a knockout game. It's a knockout game. Anything can happen in one game. It's a one-off game.
Okay,
so you got to play 2 legs against them. You're in a final, bro. You beat them 6 months. You beat them a few months ago.
But see, look at a different side to now. You know they do.
Oh, mate. But that is what it is for what Spurs can't look at. When's the game? In April. So in 2 months, Spurs can't look a better side. And you're writing it off already and you want him out.
Yes.
That's mental to me. Yes. That's mental to me. That's crazy, man.
Just get him out.
That's crazy. You're sacrificing what you haven't seen before for a little bit of more attacking patterns. That's crazy to me.
That League Cup doesn't get the juice boiling like that.
But when he came, I said this. The point you're making now, me and Joe, bro, we made this point, and you was backing it. You was backing the fact that you need a cup. So you've done a 180. Don't want that. You can't do that.
Mourinho says in his opening press conference, I've been learning and I've been doing my analytics.
More for you for believing that. He's been in the game for 20 odd years, and you thought this was the job he was going to change. More for you.
He come from Barca, like he was under Johan Cruyff. He was under all these different guys. Maybe he's got something from them finally.
That's how you know. That's how you should know he's a villain, bro. He came from the most beautiful club in the world, and this is the football that he wants to play. You should have known from then.
End it at that, bro. Say no more, innit? Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and then after this, we're gonna go through our teams of the season. What I want to do, actually, I want to give everybody should give their, for example, everybody will give their goalkeeper, and then we'll all decide on a consensus goalkeeper, and then we'll fill out our own team the pod going forward. Okay. Yeah, is that cool? Welcome back to the second part of the Countdown 2 podcast. And this part, we're going to talk about our team of the season so far. So we're about 60% into the season. So we've got a good general idea of which players have been good, which players have been bad. Yeah. So we're going to start at goalkeeper. Let's do it in order that I've got it on my screen. So George first, then me, then Keenan, then Jamal. Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, George, you're up. Yeah. Your goalkeeper. Who's in next?
I've gone with Martinez from Villa.
Mm.
It might be a dubious one, but I thought it was a solid choice. I think he's massively improved their position because obviously last year, I can't remember who their keeper was, but
Pepe Reina, I think.
Dave's
Reina,
called
bro.
it. I feel like he's solidified their back line. Obviously, Konsa and Mings have done well as well this year, but I feel like Martinez has done well for Villa, and I really rated him when he was at Arsenal. I really don't know why Arsenal let him go.
Bro, I agree. I've got Martinez as well. Got a few notes here. So he's got the second most clean sheets in the Prem, and he's got top 3 save percentage in the Prem as well. For Martinez, everyone just thought he was a backup keeper, and he's turned up and he's been really good for him. I was shocked to see that Villa got the second most clean sheets in the Prem. Okay, who's your keeper?
Yeah, mine was Martinez as well, to be fair. It's just mad how Arsenal sold him, innit? Like, they thought they had a backup keeper, but really he's arguably better than Leno, innit?
Yeah.
Way better than Leno.
Yeah. So I've gone with Martinez, to be fair.
But say no more, man. How about you, Jamal? What you got?
I went with Martinez as well.
Yeah, full house.
Yeah, the impact he's made at Villa is just from being one of the worst teams defensively last year to second best this year. You have to have him in there.
Yeah. Okay, cool, George. Can we move on swiftly then? There's a full house. So in that in our team, we've got Emiliano Martinez. Who's your right back? This is going to get a bit techy.
This was probably not the most difficult, but it was a tough decision. It was between 2 players. James Justin at Leicester obviously plays on the left for Leicester, but I wanted to fit him in. But I've gone with João Cancelo from City. I just think this season he's been one of their key players. Last season he didn't really feature much and he was quite underwhelming. But I feel like this season he's just solidified that right back role and obviously shown why he's 10 times the player Kyle Walker is.
Yeah, that's a good solid choice. I've not gone with him. Mainly, it's not even due to him, but with me, the only reason I haven't gotten him in my team at all, actually, at right back or left back, is because of Pep. I don't really understand where he plays him sometimes. Sometimes he plays him right back, left back. He'll pop up in centre midfield. I mean, it's just hard. It's hard to pin him down. But regardless, anyway, I've gone with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And every time he's a good player. And this season, every time I see people actually beat him. So,
bro, that shocked me so. That shocked me so much.
That's such a bad show.
He's got the most tackles in the Prem. Most tackles in the Prem. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists this season. His end product has been much better than he has previously going forward. But yeah, honestly, I just got.
Nick, you made a poor choice there. You made a poor
awful. That's awful.
How about you?
Fair play to you. Fair play to you.
Most tackles in the league, though, for a defender, that is. You got to take.
Most tackles in the league, Wan-Bissaka.
Most tackles won or most tackles?
It's most.
No, most.
Premier League stats say most tackles.
Oh, yeah, so not most tackles won, just most tackles. All right.
He has the most tackles won in Europe. Wan-Bissaka.
Just asking a question.
And that's a right back we're talking about. You know what I mean, Jam?
Exactly.
But listen, I said it earlier. You can tackle all you want in 1v1s, but defending ain't just 1v1s, and he ain't as good as a lot of people have you believe. Defensively,
he had Sterling, mate. Sterling's still in his pocket, and we saw what Sterling.
Yeah, 1v1s. That's fine. I said it earlier. He's great defensively 1v1, but that's not the only thing a right back has to do defensively. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, no, but.
So if you got right back, bro. Okay.
I've gone for Matty Cash. Considering Villa had Al Mohammadi last season, they've just had a massive upgrade with Cash in it. And obviously you can see with the stats that Martinez has got, the backline has helped him massively. So I've gone with Matty Cash.
Cool. Were you saying? Who have you got right back, Jerome?
I went with Cash as well. I think it's signed for 14 million in the summer, and the step up he's made seamlessly has been really good. I don't want to go wild with my take and say he could make the England squad, but I don't think he's too far away. I just think he'll be unfortunate because there's a lot of right backs available. But I think he's done proper good since he's come in, and like he said, they've got one of the best defences in the league, and he's a big part of that.
Okay, cool. So we've got in our team, we've got 2 Villa players. I wasn't expecting that. We've got Martinez and Matty Cash right back. So everybody got 4 in the back, yeah? Nobody's got 3 in the back, no?
Yeah, I got 4.
Cool. My first right back. No, sorry, George. Sorry, I'm trying to take over.
Centre half. My first centre half was a pretty easy decision. Ruben Diaz for City. He's just completely transformed their defence. I saw a stat before on Sky. I can't remember what it was, but I think last season under Pep they conceded like at least 1 big chance a game, and this season it's down to like 0.27 average over. It is mental. Like the transform, it even makes like John Stones look good, and we've seen like John Stones has been very error prone. He's not looked as comfortable as he did in his first season at City the past few years, but Stones even looks good now. So yeah, Ruben Diaz, first centre half.
Yeah, 100%. Bro, I don't even attack too much onto that. The only thing I can add to it is they've only conceded 8 goals in his 20 appearances this season. And we all know City at the back. Even to start the season, they were awful at the back when he was out. But yeah, I've got Ruben Diaz as well as my first centre-back. Thank you.
My first centre-back was Ruben Diaz as well. Just the impact that he's had on that City back line, and the company transfer was a big loss for him. Obviously, his legs were going and whatnot, and it was time to move on. And it looks like they finally found the company replacement after a season. So I've gone with Ruben Diaz.
Yeah.
Full house.
No, we're gonna go.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah. So it's you. Is it full?
Yeah,
house?
full house. Full house. Ruben Diaz.
Right.
It's the Wan-Bissaka shout. It's still in your head, isn't it? Let it go, man. Let it go, man. On the next one, move on.
I thought you said who else? Well, you said full house.
Oh, no. Full house.
Okay, cool. Who's your other centre back? This probably where it gets a bit different now. George.
Me going, yeah. This was another tough one. I just want to say before I say who is actually my team that I thought Maguire has been solid this season, and he was close, but he's obviously not in. I've gone with Wesley Fofana from Leicester. I think he's stepped in, and we all said last season about how good that Soyuncu was.
Yeah,
everyone thought he was a pretty good player. And Fofana's come in. I know Soyuncu's been injured and he played today against Wolves, but Fofana looks like a real player. He's only, 20 years old as well. But he looks like he could develop into real talent.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I can't really say I've watched Leicester myself. But before I name my centre-back as well, I didn't have Matty Cash in my team, but I wanted to have another Villa defender, and I was considering Ezra Konsa a lot for this position. But I kind of bottled it. I just went safe and I chose Stones because City have got they've got the best defense in the league statistically by far. They've conceded 13 fewer goals than the team who's behind them. I think it was United. So I just went with the 2 City centre backs. I went with Stones. How about you, Q?
I've gone with Fofana as well, to be fair. Just the impact he's had on the Leicester team. Like, he's just come in, he just looks like he's been at home ever since he's come. And obviously, he's come from Saint Etienne. And he just looks comfortable. Like, it's a big stepping stone going from the French league to the Premier League. And the way he just came and he's just dealt with what's in front of him, his quality. So I've gone with Fofana.
Cool.
I had a bit of. This was probably the toughest position because I had Fofana first, and then I thought about Konza, and then I went with neither. I went with Fabinho. My list was picked before today. Well, let me explain why. My list was picked before today. Can I just add that disclaimer?
Why does that even still?
No. The reason behind it is he's not a centre back, and I think maybe on the ball I have my worries about him in terms of being at centre back. But prior to today, defensively, considering the partners he's had next to him, he hasn't had Van Dijk, he hasn't had Gomez, he's barely had Matip, he's had Reece Williams, Jordan Henderson, and Nat Phillips. There's no experience next to him, and I think in the situation he's been put into, he's held it down very well from a defensive standpoint. Today, obviously, went wrong, but in the main, generally, he's been very good. United were here a few weeks ago, and I personally thought he was man of the match that game. All right, but that's the first half of the season. He was brilliant in the league, in the Champions League. The last couple of weeks, before this little run, I think he's been solid, and I watch him week in, week out, and I haven't been phased by him defensively at all. I think he's been very solid, but it was a tough choice between Konza, Fofana, and Fabinho, but I went Fabinho. I'm not angry at Fofana being in there.
Yeah, like Jamal said, we've got Fofana in there. Yeah. Move the left back. To move on to the left back now. So, George, who have you got there, bro? Complete the back.
I think this is another easy decision. There's not really been many standout left backs this year in the league apart from Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw's been honestly one of United's best players this season. So we're second in the league, and Luke Shaw's one of our best players. So yeah, he's going right in there.
Every time I don't care. They always got to mention the second in the league, bro. Anyway, let me not even dismiss that pick because I did consider Shaw. Shaw was in my final three with Shaw, Robertson, and I had Ben Chilwell and Reguilon. But I didn't go, relax, George, bro. I didn't go with Ben Chilwell. I went with Andrew Robertson. He's been consistent this season. Every time I watch Liverpool, I think he's holding it down. He's holding it down. And I swear down, every time I watch Liverpool, he comes to their back line. It's always been somebody else other than Robertson. I have not seen one game this season where I thought, he's the liability in this defence this season without Van Dijk.
But he's not been a liability, but he's not been good. Like he's not been setting the standard.
Yes, he has.
He hasn't been up to scratch.
There's going to be a recency. There's going to be a recency bias whenever someone mentions a Liverpool player in these.
This is
now.
Team of the season.
Don't let this
it's not average of the season.
Right, so what about the first? How many games played now? 22 games, isn't it? Yeah. What about before this 6-game run? What about the games before that when he was our best player? What about I haven't got him, by the way. But to say he's not been good is an outrageous shout.
Okay.
He's outrageous.
He's been okay.
He's been as good.
I think he's been good. I think he's been good as you're gonna get from him in this type of season.
Okay, moving on anyway, bro. Keir, who's your left back? I mean, we've got two different ones so far.
It was a tough one, to be fair. If we're talking about Matty, Cash, and Martinez, obviously, my point of view on this, I was going for a team was defensively sound. I put Matt Target in there, obviously, because Villa, second most clean sheets in the league. Matt Target, I think he's going to be knocking on the door for England call-up as well, depending on Chilwell situation, Shaw, and anyone else. So I think Matt Target, I think he deserves a shout, so I put him in my team of the season so far.
Okay, cool. Last but not least, well,
I considered Target a lot, but my back line is very Villa dominated, and I don't like that. So I threw a bit of a curveball, and I put Cancelo at left back. So I think right or left, he's been the best fullback in the league this season, and I had to get him in there somewhere. So, like what George said earlier, last season it wasn't brilliant, but I've done a bit of research earlier, and already this season at this point, he's matched his appearances in the Premier League as he did last. So he's got more trust. He's showing why he's got more trust. I think today he was brilliant. Lock Mournho down wherever you think he was playing, right back, centre mid. that Robertson and Mournho both got shut down completely by him. So I think he has to be in there. Personally.
So we've got a bit of a stalemate here where everybody's picked somebody else. So just to resolve that, this has to be done very quickly, I guess. I decide now. I'm not fucking around. So we all have to vote for somebody else's pick, and whoever has the most votes at the end of that, they win. So George, you're up.
Well, I already picked Cancelo for the right side, and he didn't get in, so I'm going to pick Cancelo for the left side.
Left side. If I had to pick somebody else's pick as well, I'd also say Cancelo.
What, you're going Cancelo for the left, yeah, not for the right?
Yeah, for the left. So you have for the left. One of our left back.
Yeah, obviously I did, just then I did pick Target, but obviously Cancelo's been performing, hasn't he, like on a consistent basis now, so you would have to be Cancelo.
Yeah. How about you, Sam?
I would have gone Target, but it doesn't matter if it's Cancelo.
You're mock.
Just out of the two, Jamal, like you would have to be Cancelo out of the two. Man.
Yeah. So our back line is Martinez, Cash, Diaz, Fofana, and Cancelo left back. If you was going into a league season with that as your back line, you're not saying I'm going for the Premier League title, but then again, it's based on.
I think you could.
Season. I don't think so. That does not win you the Premier League.
I think it could, based off this season.
Yeah, it's just.
Bro, if John Stones and Zinchenko win you the season in the league this season.
Yeah.
That's neither here or there. Anyway, going forward.
Zinchenko's a baller, by the way.
Huh?
I said Zinchenko's a baller, by the way. But moving on.
I was going to say about Zinchenko that he had so much more balance to City's team than Mendy playing there or putting Cancelo on the left. Yeah. He just looks comfortable on that side. I don't know why Pep didn't play him.
Because he's not an left back, is he? He's an attacking midfielder and he's playing him left back. Let's move on. So we're going to go with 4-2-3-1 because I think Miki, George, just Miki and George, we've got 4-2-3-1, whereas I think Joanne's got 4-3-3. So anyway, my first holding midfielder is let me say the controversial one first. I've got Pierre-Emile Højbjerg in there. Actually, I messed up the order, but fuck it, I'll say it anyway. I'll say why. Højbjerg, second most tackles in the Premier League behind Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's our only player who's played every minute in midfield this season, and he's also completed the top 5 most passes in a team that's not possession orientated. So for me, he's been solid every single game. He's 7 out of 10. So I don't think he's a bad shout. For me, for Spurs, he's easily in the top 3 of our best players of this season. But yeah, honestly, I think when you compare it to all the other centre midfielders holding mids, he's warranted his place there. So yeah, George, just work our way back now. So it's going to be George and then Key next.
I've gone with probably the reason this team's sitting in 5th, Thomas Souček for West Ham.
Well,
he's got 10 goals this year from centre mid. It might be 10, I might be wrong, but he's a very, very important player, and he's surprised me a lot this season. He's Moyes' new Fellaini, so yeah, put him straight in
there. My first choice, because he's got the most he's up there with most passes completed. I've gone with Yuri Tillemans. Whether you want to have him sit in or not, I think he deserves a shout because he's so consistent, whether it's on international level or he's at Leicester. I think Tielemans, he just does his job, and he's just too comfy with it. So Tielemans is in there for me.
What about you, John?
I went not back and forth, but I did think about Souček. But I went with a 4-3-3, so I needed like a little bit more of a defensive balance. So I went with Højbjerg as well. I think he's added.
Can't get in this team.
I think he's added a lot to Spurs' team. Personally, I think people talk about Ndombele being better. I think he's a massive reason why he's been better. I think he's got a bit more of a license with him behind him rather than Sissoko or whoever else want to play behind him. I think he's done well in a team that, as Nick could tell you, hasn't done that well. I think he's done well. He was a snip at 15 million as well.
Yeah.
And didn't you send Walker Peters to Southampton for 7?
Yeah. And also, it's good
when Spurs were top of the league. I did think that I remember tweeting when Spurs were top of the league, Højbjerg might be signing of the season. Well, that feels like an age ago now, man. The run recently.
He has been underperforming, hasn't he?
That hasn't been through a fault of Højbjerg's, do you know what I mean? And also, if we got games in hand that we haven't played, if we win them games in hand, we're above the likes of West Ham. We're in 5th, a couple points off top 4. So
No, you're not.
It's not as bad as it looks.
Why do you want Jose out then?
Because the performances are not what expected with the players, but when you compare them to they're thereabouts. And you've got to bear in mind, one of them games in hand is against Villa, so if we do beat them,
Villa are beating you.
Regardless, let's move on. George, who's your other holding midfielder? Who's your other centre midfielder, bro?
Well, today's performance kind of just reinforced who I was going to put in. Even without the missed penalty, we'll ignore that. But yeah, Ilkay Gundogan, he's just got to go in. He's completely stepped up in the absence of De Bruyne. Not to say he wasn't performing well before he got injured, but he's performing even better at the minute. And he scored 10 goals a season, which is the most he's ever scored in his career in a season. Pretty much in the form of his life, really.
Cool. I completely agree. I've got Ilkay Gundogan as well. Scored the most goals in the Premier League in 2021. Also, top 5 most completed passes. And City's defensive record for me, a lot of that is down to them keeping the ball and having such good possession. And yeah, he's been class. So nothing more to add really. It's Gundogan. What about you, Kate?
I've gone with Man United's player of the month. I've gone with Paul Pogba. People want him out, as you already know, as George knows. Everyone's asked for him to start adding goals and assists to their game. That's what he's doing. What more can you want? Everyone says he needs to do this, he needs to do that, and he's been doing it. Yesterday, he comes off, the team falls apart without him. For me, Paul Pogba has to go in there, to be fair. So that's my centre midfielder.
All right, Jamal's got Paul Pogba now. Stalemate, or
No way.
Didn't even cross my mind. Didn't even cross my mind. I forgot the guy even.
Thiago.
See, like I said, I went with a 4-3-3, and I never went with 2 sitters because I'm not negative like that. I like my attacking football. You know what I'm saying? So I went with Bruno as one of my midfielders. So I mean, I don't really have anything nice.
Out of the 3 midfielders that you've got, is Bruno the most? I don't know. So is he like
the other one can't? I don't think can play.
Yeah.
Next to Højbjerg, it has to be. Bruno's going to be in at some point, so it doesn't really matter if I say him now or not.
Okay.
Say your other one.
But now?
Yeah, you might as well have World in this position.
So if we're playing 4-2-3-1, does this have to be my number 10 shout?
Yeah. Wait, before you say it, can he play number 10? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Regardless, it doesn't matter because Gundogan's 2-1. Yeah. So Gundogan's in there. I want to start on the right midfield. Who's your right midfielder, George? Right midfield, that's right wing.
I know he don't play there, but I've got to fit him in. I
thought this was straightforward. This was the easiest one.
Nah.
I thought that too.
This was simple.
For me, it's Heung-min Son on the right wing.
I don't know.
I don't really need to say much.
I want to see who you put on your left then. That's quite interesting.
I know how George has done it. Me and George have got one player, but just in the wrong order.
Yeah, you've put him in centre mid, innit? I put him on left wing.
No, I've put him on the left. There's a player in. We'll get on to it. Go on. We'll get on to it.
Okay, but your official vote for right midfield is Youngmin Son.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Mine is. I thought this was really simple. It's Salah, top goal scorer, match winner in an injured team, and yeah, it's just Salah, top goal scorer. That's really insane on. How about you, kid?
Yeah, I've gone Daniel James. I've gone Salah as well, man. Salah, top goal scorer, and you can't not put him in there. He's got to be included in the squad. Yeah. So I've gone with Salah.
Is it Salah?
Yeah, Salah was the easiest one. He's even in this poor run, he's still scoring goals. So it was that was the easiest one.
That stupid dive, though.
All right, but he still scored, and the ball still touched the back of the net. And he scored 20 goals again this season, over 20 goals now. Just desensitized the greatness in it, but continue.
Not greatness.
Cool. So on the left, who have you got on your left midfield, George? Have you got Son there?
I've got Jack Grealish. That's where he's played out. He's played there for Villa this year. They played 4-3-3, and he's played out wide on the left.
Yeah,
created the most chances from open play. I think he's second to, or maybe third to Kane and De Bruyne in assists.
Yeah,
like Jack Grealish has just been. He's Villa's main guy. Like everything attacking wise that goes through them goes through Grealish. So he's got to be there for me.
Yeah. For me, I'll break the news now. I haven't got Jack Grealish in there at all. I did think of him to play in the 10 or on the left, but his numbers just don't, they're just not levels. They're not up to the standard of the other two players or their in terms of his impact. But regardless, on the left, I've got Youngmin Son. So, like I said earlier in the pod, he's got the best conversion rate in the Premier League by far. So 38% compared to everybody else who's in the 20s. And also, he's the joint top goal scorer. Well, he was until Salah scored today. He was up there as a second joint top goal scorer, I think, now with Kane. But yeah, so Youngmin Son is quite simple for me, that one. How about you, Q? Who you got?
I've gone with Son as well, to be fair. Can't not put him in there with the season he's having. He's like, along with Kane, Spurs' main man, isn't he? So, but you can't have one in there and not have the other, so I've gone with Son.
Yeah.
Same. I've gone with Son on the left as well.
So,
there's going to be three Spurs players in this team of the season and no United players, by the way.
What United players should be?
Anyway, yeah, that's a good segue.
Oh, second.
No, wait, no, go on. Yeah, we'll do this after. We'll do this after, yeah.
Topic for after.
Do you know how mad that is?
There's a reason why, though. It's a system that you have picked. You all picked 4-2-3-1. That's why they're not all going to fit.
Anyway.
I'll move down to the reason why.
Who's your number 10?
Bruno. There will be one United player, and it's Bruno. Easy. Like, it's not close. No one comes close to him. It's Bruno.
Okay, cool.
So, this should be a full house as well. If it isn't a full house, then I don't know.
I've got Bruno as well. I mean, Bruno, player of the year so far, top 5 in goals and assists. Yeah, say no more. Bruno for me. How about you, Kid?
Yeah, Bruno. BBC's just put him as one of the greatest January signings in the Premier League. It's got to be Bruno in it for the stats and what he's done for United. He just has to be Bruno.
Jamal, if you've not got Bruno here...
No, I've already... Bear in mind, my team was a 4-3-3, so Bruno was one of my centre mids. I had him anyway. But that, obviously, I said him for the CDM part in it. This is where it's all going to get mashed because, in my opinion, I had Grealish, but Grealish isn't my number 10. He's just in a midfield 3.
Yeah.
The fact that Jack Grealish is not in this team is an absolute disgrace. That's forget Bruno, forget Salah, forget Son, forget anyone else you want to mention. That is the player of the season this season. That is the beautiful game in one player, bro. No other player in the league.
Chill, though.
No other player in the league
Relax.
epitomizes the beautiful game at the minute the way he does. Bruno don't do it. KDB don't do it as much as I like him. Salah don't do it. Mane don't do it. Son don't do it. Attacking players. There's no attacking player that brings that beautiful game vibe more than Jack Grealish, bro. The guy's a joy to watch. I don't, bro. Nick, you can vouch. Villa. I come from a family of Birmingham City fans, bro. Villa. I despise Villa. Jack Grealish has been unbelievable this season, and in my opinion, I might just have him ahead of Kane right now in terms of player of the year. I can flip back on either one of them two.
Okay,
He has my player of the year.
But
I think he has.
regardless, he hasn't made our team. We have got.
Boo.
He needs to be an over Son.
Huh?
It's simple. It should be.
I'd have him. If I had to pick, I'd have him over Son personally.
Not really. You can't do that now anyway, because first of all,
Your reasoning was ridiculous just because he's not getting goals and assists.
we've all got Son in our team. Not all of us have got Grealish in our team, so there we go. That's one reason why we can't have him.
George, they don't know, do they, man? They
No,
don't
Really, Grealish should be an over Son.
It should be an over Son by miles.
I've got Son in my team. Key's got Son in the team. I've got Son's in the team.
Can I take Son out? Can I take Son out and change my system?
Take him out.
Really should be.
He's still 2-1.
Nah. I'll take Bruno out and I'll put Gundogan in. And now, it still don't work. This is a ridiculous decision, Nick. It's awful.
Bro, this is the panel. The panel is us. So
the panel's outrageous.
Anyway, striker should be. I think George probably got Calvert-Lewin or someone like that.
No, I got Kane.
Cool, I've got Kane too.
Yeah, I got Kane, man.
Cool.
Same.
He needs to come United, man. He needs to stop messing about.
Samantha should score, but yeah, full house, Kane. So our team is Martinez in goal, Johnny Cash at right back, Ruben Diaz and Fofana at centre back, Cancelo left back, Hoy Busquets at CDM with Gundogan, right mid Salah, Cam, Bruno, left mid Son, and up front Kane. So we got 3 City players, 3 Spurs players, 2 Villa players, 1 Leicester player, 1 United player, and 1 Liverpool player.
3 Spurs players, you know.
I can't believe that Grealish isn't in this list, you know.
Højbjerg should be nowhere near this team. Nowhere near it.
Nowhere near. Come on now.
It shouldn't be.
Nowhere near.
No,
he's been better than Tielemans. He's been better than Tielemans.
Nah, Tielemans is consistent. He's just one of them players that doesn't have a good stat pad behind him. But if you just like a player,
but anyway, boys, I'll concede. Yeah, I'll concede, and we'll make this a 4-3-3. We'll take Højbjerg out, put Gundogan holding midfield, and then have Fernandes and Grealish.
I'm cool with that.
Good.
Yeah, calm.
Cool with that.
Cool.
Fernandes.
Can't believe I'm riding out for Villa players. Season's been a mess, man.
Anyway, yeah, that's it for episode 10 of the Countdown 2 podcast. Thanks for the boys for coming through. It's on to the Super Bowl now for me. Don't know what you guys got in store for the rest of your evening, but yeah, thanks for you guys for coming through. Check out nicksphere.com, check out Red Talk TV, and yeah, like, share, subscribe, and follow Nicksphere Media on Spotify as well.